Good morning, England today. Don't ask me the date, I don't know.
20th.
I'd like to introduce Ajahn Sujan. He's a head monk from a hotel, a temple in Aberdeen, and a very highly experienced meditator and teacher. And he's written numerous books, one of which I was shown the other day, which took my interest. And I'd like to discuss that today with you, Ajahn, if that's okay. Yes, he says yes. He's very quiet, not like me. So maybe if you can't hear his voice, press one of those buttons and send me something to tell me it's wrong. Let me put this down. Ajahn, you wrote this book something like 10 years ago?
Apparently, yes.
Apparently, yes, I know that. I do really recognise that feeling, yes. So I started to read it, and the first thing that hit me was that you had a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned his name, and therefore he must have impressed you greatly as a person.
Definitely, yes, he did. Otherwise, I wouldn't be still a monk, would it?
That's possibly to see there, yes. But you also chose his method of going into the meditative state.
Yes, yeah. Well, actually, I studied meditation in different places, in particular that person. And that's how I developed more deeper understanding about the meditation itself and myself.
Well, it shows in your book, even if it was 10 years ago, you have 10 years more experience now. Another thing that really struck me is your definition of happiness. What we call happiness, what we think of as happiness. Now that's really very insightful. Could you sort of give me an idea of why we need happiness, why we are at a point in life where we all suffer? Because you wrote it here extremely lucidly.
Well, happiness that we know is something that fulfilling by getting something.
Fulfilled by, yes.
Yeah, so that is
getting something you want.
Yeah, what we think is a happiness. And
yes.
That's basically, I call it fulfilling your desire.
Yes.
To gain the happiness. And this is not what you think is the real happiness. Because happiness, when you are thinking of fulfilling your desire, what happens is that there is non-stop, never fulfills your desire. It's always wanting. So you're constantly looking out towards the material things that will make you happy. Whereas the happiness is not about fulfilling your desire, but your needs.
Oh, there's a big difference between need and want.
Yes.
Need and desire.
Yeah.
A very big difference indeed. Yes. That's yes. So when we desire something and then achieve have it.
Yeah.
Whether it be, I don't know, a friend or an object, when we have it, we got it in our grasp, immediately we want something else.
Definitely.
We want to improve the house or do something about the car or whatever. Yeah. Even with another person, when you've got the other person, you know, especially if you move in together, the other person washes its teeth at the same time as you, whatever, you know, there's a new set of changes, desires made, yeah? So how do you think that we can overcome that? You see, let me just say this, the word craving, it doesn't really convey in English that which we've just been speaking about. It doesn't really pull it together. So
it is, no,
Can you give me an example or two?
it's like, suppose your family, or you are moving into a new place.
Yes,
And
I am
you're-
listening. I'm just
yeah,
trying to put
yeah,
Facebook
and then,
on here.
And then what happens is that your neighbor got a good car, and suddenly you think, wish I could have that.
Yes.
So there's wanting to have something better. And the simile, or the classic way I was normally using it is that you want to have a good job, so that you can fulfill your comfortable life by having a big house, good cars, and so on. And then you go shopping non-stoply, wanting to getting this and getting that, hoping that it brings a happiness. And despite of having a decent job with good pay, obviously,
Hopefully.
and then end of the day, end of the month, when its payday comes, normally what happens? Your empty pocket.
We've spent it all.
Spend more than what you're earning.
Well, yeah, that's known as that's known as living to your means. Yeah, I have a son that lives always above his means. It doesn't matter what he earns. There's always a little bit more spent.
Yeah.
So yes,
Yeah.
I understand that. That's a better sort of way of thinking of craving, rather than just using that word as a sort of overall look at it.
Yeah.
Reality is we're all human, we all want stuff, we all want to be better in life all the time, but we never really achieve that being better, because in the moment we've got better, our minds go off again for something even better.
Yeah, wanting to have more.
Yes, constantly.
Yeah.
It never stops.
Something like you want to have this one, thinking that you will be satisfied.
Yeah.
But as soon as you got this one, you want to have another one.
That's it.
Yeah? And
Yes.
then when you have got this one, you forgot that one. And then you want to have another one. So it's a constantly wanting to have more and more and more, thinking that you will have happiness. But what happens? Miserable and miserable. And not
Correct.
wanting, not knowing what you're doing. And that is the main reason of all this stress and other frustrations and anxiety problems comes, because you have more things
Yes.
which is beyond.
So your solution to this is to meditate on a regular basis, to train your mind.
Well, yes. The first thing is to understand that this wanting is what is it, and in order to understand, you have to know your feelings, your desires, your the thirst to want to have, and these feelings and emotions you have to see by yourself, and to see that is the meditation. Without that, you won't be able to see that.
No, that's correct. That's bang on, actually. Yes. So when a person is meditating, sort of the early objects of meditation would be to explore your emotions.
No, you have to remember here, our mind is a wild animal.
Yeah, it's definitely wild.
Yeah? Sometimes it is known as a monkey mind. I prefer using it as a wild horse.
Yeah, you're probably closer. It just
Yeah.
flies everywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Because monkey, it's very difficult to train the monkey, and even you trained it won't be tamed.
No,
But
not really.
whereas the horse, when it is a wild, it's useless for us, and it can be very, very dangerous.
Definitely.
But once you tame it and then train to do works, then that brings happiness. That brings more benefit for ourselves. A mind is like that too. When our mind is not trained, it's like a wild. We don't know what we are going to do, what we are doing it, and that is the reason why people nowadays want to show off. Maybe their pocket is empty, but they are showing what is called the expensive bags.
Yes,
Uh,
expensive bags, expensive cars,
cars
yeah,
and
anything.
watches, and what else? Their pocket may be empty, but
Yes,
they want to show that how rich I am.
because money equates to status.
Yes, and
Yeah.
that thing that people think that brings happiness. But I'm not saying that money is not good. Without money is very
The
difficult
whole
too.
world revolves around money.
We have a saying, as a monk, when you go to give a teachings, we cannot ask. Yeah? We cannot charge for the teachings. But if you don't offer me, next time I will cancel. It's
Good,
just
I hadn't thought about it like that. Good, I hadn't thought about it like that. Because, as with everyone else, a monk and a temple costs money,
Yes,
big money.
yeah. Actually, that's what I had a long discussion once with a few people. They say that, oh, you're a monk, given up the family, given up the house, given up the work, everything. And why do you need the money? And I said, hang on a minute. Do you think the temple runs without the money? Who do you think pay bills?
Absolutely right. And I've been a monk for a couple of months now, and the idea that you've given up work is really rather ridiculous, to be honest with you. It's hard work being a monk. You're on the go all the time.
Yes.
I mean, 5 o'clock in the morning, things start.
Yes.
And,
And 10 o'clock.
Well, it is 10 o'clock at night. Things
Non-stop.
finish. That's about it. Yes, so it's actually very, very hard work being a good monk. You could go off and hide in the corner all day, and no one would stop you, but that wouldn't make you into a good monk or a useful monk either. So it's really not giving up work. It's actually choosing a vocation, if you ask me.
Yeah.
A bit like a nurse. They're paid very, very poorly, and yet they still go back for more. I never understood that until I understood what a vocation
I think it's similar
was.
to the teachers too.
Teachers teachers are very similar. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
They're not paid a very big wage, certainly not enough for what they do,
Yeah.
and yet they keep on going.
Yeah.
They go home and take the homework home and prepare for the next day and so on and so on. So a monk is very similar. You haven't given up work, you've taken on a
Only the
vocation.
difference is unpaid.
You're totally unpaid. Totally. If you're broke when you become a monk, you remain broke for the rest of your life. Oh, there's no doubt about that. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
So let's get back to the meditation,
that's why,
because I'm really interested in that
So
bit.
that's why, untrained mind, or untamed, not untrained, untamed mind always wander in a worldly life, thinking that getting the material possession brings happiness. So that's why we'll just work and not knowing what is happening for themselves. And now, practice of a meditation is to see that I am in this hamster wheel.
Hamster wheel. Oh, round and round and
round
and
and
round.
round
Oh,
and
yeah,
round.
yeah.
Or another simile is like a headless chicken running around. Don't know what's going to, what I'm doing. What am I doing?
Oh, true enough.
Yeah. So,
Except that
Once-
doesn't last very long.
yeah. And that's why we have to thank all the sufferings that we have, all the troubles that we get. Without that, we will not be able to see that I am running like a headless chicken. The moment when we have stress, the moment when we think I am suffering, that moment, it brings you to the moment here. And then you realize, oh, I need something. I need a holiday. Yeah?
Yes.
So, disconnecting yourself from all the works, everything, so that you can relax. I am in a way here today. I'm on holiday from my temple.
Yes.
I said, oh, I've been working all year around, and now this is my holiday, and now you give me a job.
And don't forget, you chant in the morning, chant in the evening, chant in the afternoon.
Yeah?
That's that's 4.5 hours a day
Yeah.
before we start anything else.
That's
Yeah,
true. Yeah.
so,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's a long time.
Yeah,
Um,
so that's
and-
why, the moment when they realize, that begins the whole other story.
Yeah.
That moment, then you began to dive into yourself, seeing what's going on, what I need to do, not what I want now. See?
Yes.
Before,
But high up in your mind, in your consciousness, there's going to be this desire. I mean, if you do want something, it's very difficult to get it out of your mind until you've actually got it.
yes,
So when you sit to meditate on a given day, those desires will be pretty high priority, high up in your mind.
definitely.
And
It just-
so you-
It just comes. It just comes.
Yes. So you have to learn to push them away while you relax yourself.
I think that's the big misunderstanding in the
Tell me.
practice of a meditation, that we think we have to push it away, or we have to put it under the carpet.
Mm-hmm.
But the real Buddhist practice is not putting under the carpet, but sweeping it away.
Sweeping it away.
Yeah, it's not hiding, but we see that this is making me trouble. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then taking it, putting in the right place, so that you won't be bothered it again.
Seeing it for what it really is.
Yes,
Seeing your desires for what they really are.
yes, and then put it in the right place, where it belongs to. That's it. And you will not be bothered by it anymore. But what normally happens, untamed mind is, oh, it's okay, I will just put it under the carpet. I'm happy.
But you're not really.
But you're not.
No.
And you know where it is, and you're hiding it. And in order to hide it more, what you will do, you will put more carpet on. Layer after layer, layer after layer. And whatever, oh, I'm okay. That's fine. I'm good. But what happened? Deep down, more trouble. More trouble. Not only trouble for himself, it brings more trouble to surroundings.
Oh, yes.
Because we human beings are very good at it. We don't want to keep it for ourselves. We want to share it to others. Particularly the sharing, not happiness. It's about the suffering. It's about the anger, jealousy, stress, anxiety. Then you will shout. Yeah? You will find the faults in others.
You find the fault in others.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yes, as a psychologist, I like that because that's true.
Yeah? So that's why practice of a meditation, the big misunderstanding that we are having is to hide away or push it away or removing it. Yeah? But actually we learn to know it, what it is. When we know exactly what it is, then what happens? We just put it in the right place. And I give a very funny simile, toilet.
Hmm?
Yeah. A toilet, I call it a place, heaven and earth.
It is some days.
And in Thai language, it's called sukha. Sukha means happiness.
Does it?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, when you're finished, it is happiness.
And that's because what we use for the toilet.
Well.
Yeah?
Yes, yes.
And how often do you think of a toilet?
Twice a day sometimes.
Twice a day. Yeah?
Maybe once.
Yeah? Yeah. And then the toilet is a place where we throw away things that we don't need anymore.
Absolutely true.
Yeah?
100% correct.
Yeah.
We
What
really
we're gonna
don't
do-
want them any longer.
Yeah. And we don't want to keep it.
No, certainly not.
And we don't need to forget the flushing it away.
No, no, no.
So,
That's a
what
very good simile, actually. Or is it an analogy? Anyway, whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's a very good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that is. So we have to flush it away, and then we will be happy. And now, you say only 2 or 3 times a day you go, and that's a physical need.
It's a physical need, yes. It
And
is.
physical, and this body say, I don't need any more. Please let it go.
Yes,
And you realize that.
yes.
Yeah. And then when you realize, then you think of a toilet.
Only then.
Yeah.
You
Before
don't
you
go
don't-
around thinking of the toilet the rest of the day,
before,
do you?
before that, you will not bother about this toilet at all.
No, true enough.
It doesn't matter where you are. You don't care about the toilet. Don't need it. But the moment this body tells you, Lumpo, I don't want something is bothering me, take it away. And then, where is the toilet?
Goodness me.
Yeah.
Absolutely true.
And then you go to the toilet. And then you sit down. Isn't that happiness?
Yes, it's definitely happiness. There's no doubt
So,
about it.
that is heaven and earth.
I see your point entirely. Oh dear, I've met some crazy monks in my time.
And so, I call it, meditation is the toilet for the mind.
Very nice. That'll write that down.
Yeah?
Yes.
So this body doesn't need any bad things. Worst thing, we take it away and we feel happy. Same thing, our mind has got so much wastes, rubbish we collect every day, every time, every moment. But we don't have a toilet like such.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah? And meditation, I call it invisible toilet that you are having with you at all the time. All what you need is key. Open it, go into that invisible toilet, which is everywhere. Yeah? All what you need is remembering that you have the key. And it's up to you. Red pill or blue pill? It's up to you to choose
Yes.
to get in or stay suffering.
Yes.
And here is the happiness. And you choose to be happy or not to be happy.
So you say that happiness actually is a choice.
Definitely. People choose to get more materials thinking that that brings happiness. But eventually what happens? They become more miserable because there is non-stop wanting, non-stop fulfilling their wants. Yeah? This is the main problem. And then these old adverts, these old multi-million businesses, always, particularly Amazon, which you are very fond of.
I'm very fond of Amazon.
Googling, and then, yeah?
Yes,
and
yes.
then these companies are telling, oh, if you have this one, your life will be much, much better. Oh, if you buy this one, I will give you 50% off. If you buy more than 20 pounds, I will send you free of charge. And then, wow. Yeah? And then you are just getting more.
Yes. This is absolutely correct. This is what happens to the vast majority of people.
Yeah.
You're deceived into thinking that things will make you happy,
Yeah.
and if we can offer you a little bit of incentive to buy, then it will make you happier quicker.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
So you know, first of all, you recognise that your mind is two parts, really. You know, the untamed mind and hopefully the tamed part. So how do you go about taming it? What is it? What is it? You
So-
see, I'm interested in what you take. The Buddha always gave an object of meditation to his monks. What's
Remember,
this? Yeah, well,
remember.
yes, it's still working. It just made a funny noise.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
We have a Margaret from Aberdeen too. Good morning. Ajahn is watching too.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh well, I can't tell that. Oh, I can't. Well, no, I'm not very good at telling that.
So I told Margaret and all our members in Aberdeen that I'm on holiday. And they're watching.
They're
me.
watching now as well, are they?
Yeah.
Well, take it from me, he's had no holiday.
Yeah.
No
so
holiday at all.
yeah. First, we have to realize that's what Buddha taught: the dukkha first, the suffering first.
He first taught dukkha, yes.
And then a cause of that dukkha,
Its cause.
suffering, and then this suffering can be end, and there is a way.
And then the way.
But Buddha didn't taught you a way. At first, Buddha told you to realize that you have this problem.
Number 3.
No, first one, you got
Oh,
the problem.
Yeah.
So you have to realize that I got the problem. It's like you're hungry. I am hungry, so you go and find the food.
So
if
you
I
recognize...
if I present you a food
Yeah.
when you are not hungry, I don't like it. I don't need it. You discard it. Huh?
You're so diverse.
Yeah, yeah. So when you realize that you have it, what happens? Oh, I need a cure. I need to find the ways. When you need a toilet, what you will do? You think of where is the toilet. The question comes, where? How can I get there? Yeah? And you will go. Because you know the solution for this physical need is a toilet. And once I got the toilet, I can finish it. You know the solution already. All what you need is the way. Yeah?
Yes.
So the realization helps you to focus where and how. And that is the point of taming the mind. Yeah? At this moment, taming this wild mind, you cannot say, okay, shape it. No.
No.
We have been conditioned for so many years. So many years after years, and in one off, you want to make it straight? Impossible.
Impossible. You have to work at it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Just
like
as-
the horse, come back to the simile.
Yeah, the
You
horse has to
cannot
work.
train the horse in a one day.
Definitely not. No.
So you have to be familiar with the horse, make a friend with it, walk with it, feed with it, take the shit out of it, everything you do. And with that, what happens? This horse feels, oh, this is my friend. This is my friend who is not going to harm me. Yeah? And then that's how horse will be tamed. Similar way, our mind too. In order to tame this mind, not training yet, tame this mind, we have to follow this mind. We have to take a gentle way. It's like training a puppy dog. Patting. Okay, take your time. Okay, I give you this toy to you. Play with this toy. Object comes now. Object of meditation. Working with this. See how long you can work this with this toy. So breath, abdomen, watching it. How long you can watch. How long you can play. Sometimes you may be able to play with it 10-15 minutes, maybe an hour. Other times, 1 minute, gone. My mind is all over the world. Yeah? And that's how gradually you're taming this mind. And over the period of a time, what happens? Mind calms down. In the situation, whenever something happens, okay, I got it. This is happening. Back to breath. That you've been training with it. Back to, that's called home base. I call it home. Home base.
Yeah.
Like the home, we go out so many, every day, and I go out and work in different places, dealing with so many people. End of the day, we come back. Once we get back to the home, this is my heaven, this is my world. No one can disturb me. This is a comfortable place that I can sit and rest. So meditation object is like that. Once you got this meditation object, then all what you need is gone. Like we say, when you are stressed and anxious and blocked your brain, I need a fresh air. What you will do? You will just walk. Half of the problem gone. Yeah, that's the same with the practice of a meditation. Once you've been working with that object and become familiar with it, then you will be able to know when to return. Your time is done, when to return, come back and relax. Now that relaxation is the beginning of the training your mind. Training
so you
to know
tame
things.
it first.
Yeah.
T-A-M-E. You tame it first.
Yeah.
And only then can you start to train it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you train this horse now to ride on, to drag the things, to jump, to lift, to turn right and turn left. Whatever at the front, you know what's going on. What is happening? Your feeling. What's happening in your feeling? You know. What's happening with my emotions? You know. And now, what you need to do with it. So that's why putting under the carpet is not the solution. Here you are seeing it, what's happening. Knowing it's what's happening. And you will be able to, this is. Like in a toilet, okay, this is done. Now, need to flush it away. And once you flush it away, will you think about it? No. You won't think about it.
You've made a decision to remove.
Yeah, it's already gone.
Yeah. You're
So-
less likely to think, yes, you
Yeah,
are less
yeah.
likely. But do I really need any of these things? Well, actually you don't.
No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So that's what, in Buddhism, people sometimes complain. Why Buddhist monks are only talking about giving dana, dana, dana. Give, give, give. Donation, donation, donation. Generosity. It's very important to learn to let go things. If you can't get, if you can't let go even a small item, how can you let go your feelings? How can you let go your emotions? How can you let go your ego, conceit? How can you let go your delusional personality view? It's impossible because you haven't started giving up even a small bit. Yeah? So that's
Yes,
why,
I can thoroughly see this
yeah.
now.
So that's why another thing what we have to remember is that it's not the object, but what we put the value in that object that holds us.
The value we attach to the object holds us.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah?
it does.
Maybe just a piece of paper. Maybe your grandson written, "I miss you, Grandpa."
Very valuable piece of paper.
Yeah. And you will be admiring it. Oh, this is my granddaughter, grandson. On this day, on this special day, he gave it to me. And you put it on the wall.
Yes, yes.
And you will be admiring it. It's just a piece of paper.
Yeah, I know it's only a piece of paper, but it signifies a great deal.
Yeah. So the value is what we put it in. And not only the value that you put it in, your attachment to it is the trouble.
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah. I think can't you just be attached to things which have no harm anywhere?
Is there any no harms when you have attachment?
No, it drives me mad. Absolutely mad. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. So that's why it's not the object that we put the value on, but how we attach to, cling to. That's why the teachings of the Buddha, giving, is teaching us to let go from a small bit, training our mind actually, because we need to train. Yeah? And that training is, we cannot train immediately to do big things. We have to train small by bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit. And that is the exact philosophy, I would say, or the practice that the Buddha is teaching people to learn to let go. That's why when Buddhist monks go for alms, they do not say, oh, I am here, I'm very hungry, give me a food. No, they will just simply go for a walk. You, a person who wants to give, has to ask, Venerable Sir, would you please accept our offerings? So that's why Buddha said, it is for the sake of people you go for Pinnapata, not for your stomach. So it's teaching them, learning to let go, material things. Yeah? And then as you develop giving, gradually what happens? You gradually feel happiness. That's why even in English we have a saying, a giver is more happier than a receiver.
Oh yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely the giver is happier than
Yeah.
the receiver.
Why?
Yeah.
Because we know the value of how much we have given.
Mm.
That's what Buddha said. A person who knows the result of a giving will not eat even 1 grain of rice. So he will learn to give in every means. And that giving material things, what happens? Helping us to feel our feelings and then letting go of our feelings. So that's why I call the first stage is giving away material things. And that's learning to give. And the second, once you learn how to give material things, you will be able to let go of your feelings. Because you've been training.
Mm.
You know? And with that, what happens? You become a more kindness towards others, and you become a more compassionate to others too.
And society improves.
Yes.
Absolutely. Let's just get one thing right about giving material things.
Mm.
I mean, a very small material thing could have taken a very long time and a lot of effort to choose.
Yeah.
So it's the effort you put into it as well that counts for a great deal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, I don't know, people give birthday cards, Christmas cards, whatever. You can buy them in a pack and just flick them out. There's no real effort gone into that. They're not really valuable. But someone who's gone and chosen a card specially for you and or for your temple, for whatever, a person who's gone out and worked at and looked and read the words and decided that this is the thing for me, and maybe gone to 1 or 2 shops too, that they put effort into that little hardly worth anything thing, but that effort they put into it is very valuable.
Yes.
It is, yes. We've got that right, yeah? So we're in total agreement, which is why I read this book. Well, when you find something which is valuable and it's not very well known, then you know we need to talk it through and try and help people understand.
Yeah, definitely.
It's only
Yeah.
I don't know how many people are watching this, but I don't really mind. No, the fact is that some people will learn something from it, and that's the intention of this. All the time. So can we just, what time is it? 10 to 10. Can we just sort of quickly go over, now, so people come to you for meditation. So what do you recommend that they do initially? You know, we go through the process of concentrating on the abdomen, on breath. This is the training part, the taming part. Yeah?
Yeah.
So what do you do? Do you sort of go there and do it 10 minutes, 5 minutes, or whatever, and just do you work up to a longer and longer period of time, I mean, how do you prove that you've tamed it? In other words, I can see the horse is tamed, it doesn't kick me any longer, or bite or whatever. But then how do you assess, or how do the people assess that they've tamed their mind? Do you rely just on their verbal say-so, or are you doing something else?
Well, tamed or untamed is you who know, not me.
So you wait for their say-so.
Yeah. I don't need to wait for them to say too. It's up to them. It's individual property. I don't have any access unless they want to share. But their behavior can teach you.
That's it. That's it. I was waiting for that bit.
You will realize your behavior changed.
Yes, and so does everyone else.
Yeah, there was one story. There was one lady. She never done practice meditation before. And she was very agitated, very anxious, always shouting with the children. And she came to meditation. And she came to meditate only 3 times. Yeah, only 3 times.
That's not a lot.
Not a lot. And in 1 hour, it's not 1 hour sitting. You will be practicing meditation probably 10 minutes.
Yes.
The rest will be talking, sharing.
Yeah.
Now, believe me, these children, her children, told Mom, Mom, why didn't you start meditation way before?
We'd have had an easier life.
So,
well.
Mom became a more calmer, more mindful, more gentler.
And the evidence is there for the eye to see.
Yes.
How wonderful is that?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And this is how you will see. This is how you will understand that how much you have developed. And you ask me how long do you have to practice?
I did it on purpose.
I normally say 15 seconds. Not a minute. Yeah? Did you hear me right?
Yeah, I did hear you right. I'm a bit confused here.
15 seconds, not 15 minutes. Now, 15 seconds, people say, oh, it's a piece of cake. I dare challenge with you. 15 seconds. When you wake up, when you wake up, will you be able to spend 15 seconds in your bed, observing your body? When you're eating, can you wait for 15 seconds before you eat? When you go to shower, can you wait for 15 seconds before you jump into the shower? 15 seconds after you have started the car. Can you spend 15 seconds before you drive away?
It's actually extremely difficult. Extremely difficult.
That's what I'm saying. It's not 15 minutes.
No, not 15 minutes now. So at 15 seconds, putting off what you started to do, it's very good training for children. The child that can actually wait a little while before it does whatever or eats the sweet, that child is likely to be more intelligent or more successful later on. That's a well-known thing. I always use the wrong name, but I know who I mean. Dr. Bodding was with me for quite a long while, and he actually never said this 15 seconds or any time at all. But what he suggested was that you count your breath in and out while you're doing the normal breathing, and just count to 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
You can do it then, because your mind is occupied counting the in and the out, the inhaling and the exhaling. Yeah. So actually I hadn't put 2 and 2 together. You've cleared it up for me. You've cleared it up. Actually, that's very, very
and then,
clever.
if you really want to know that how much you have developed your meditation, checking by how kinder you become, how compassionate you become towards yourself as well as others, how humble you become. And then how much you able to accept others, respect others, see their value. The more you become a kindler, the more you become a compassionate, and the ability to accept others, respecting as they are, seeing their presence as such a wonderful moment to have, then you have bang on. You got to...
In my terminology, you cracked it. Okay, this is yes. Well, yeah, I'm not perfect. When people, when there is job to be done, I can become pretty difficult. It has to be done, and nothing gets in the way. It's done. I'm kicking myself because a lady and her husband in Plymouth, they went and fetched bamboo, 1,000 kg of bamboo roots yesterday in their big van. And the last thing last night, when I was fast asleep, 10:30 or something like that, they sent me a message asking if they could dig the holes in the particular place, and I haven't replied because it's just hit me that I haven't. I'm guilty at the moment of that. Such a wonderful thing to do. They spent so much time and energy thinking about the goodness of the temple, and well, wonderful. I'll be calling them. Yeah. I don't know whether they won't be watching; they'll be working. But yeah. So yes, well, I think you've enlightened me in various ways. I now know that it's not training immediately, that the mind has to be tamed. Only then can you train it. Yeah? That the results of training a greater compassion for other people, happiness for yourself, because you've put away your desires. Actually, you've flushed them away in the toilet. Yeah. Yeah? Definitely. And that takes a little bit of training. Yeah. But nevertheless, you actually move them away. They no longer affect you because you made the decision. Yeah. You know, I don't need that new car because my car that I've got now, actually the only reason I want to change it is because I want to show off. Mm. This car is a perfectly good car. It works perfectly well. Yeah. So why would I change it? Well, I wanted the latest model and the latest shape. I want to show off. Then so you put that away, carry on driving your old car until it starts to be unreliable, then you change it, you know?
When I was in a university, we had one Christian lecturer. He's proper Christian training Christian.
Right, okay, you are in trouble.
And then he said that he got a fund to buy a Swiss watch. Can you imagine how much is that?
I know exactly how much they cost, actually.
So expensive.
A lot of money.
Yeah. And then he went around looking at the perfect watch that he wanted to have. And he found similar one, but not a Swiss watch. What do you think he will do?
Pretty sure he'll still go for the Swiss watch.
No, he didn't.
Didn't he? He just wanted to show it off.
He said that rather than spending that much amount of money on just one watch to look at the time, nothing more than that, just the time, I better have a normal watch and spend that money something else good. So he bought that normal watch and wear it, and he said, I've been wearing it for 15 years. Nothing wrong with it.
And the rest of the money went on a good thing.
Yeah.
How good's that? Yeah. How good's that?
Yeah,
yeah, so well, I totally agree with it, but I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that. That's more Buddhist than anything else. No, that's so nice, so nice. Yes, I used to buy very expensive watches. Then I discovered one watch which I wear all the time, which is no longer just a watch. It does everything for me. I know when someone's calling me and what they're saying and photographs and just about everything. I can't be without it. You put your phone down and leave it, don't you? No way. I walk with it to bed. So no, I can understand. Well, that's really very enlightening today. So we tame, train, get rid of, remove those desires by not putting them under the carpet, by actually flushing them away, getting rid of them altogether. And that ends up with us being happier. And it doesn't take forever. Now, I can totally agree with this not taking it forever. Yeah. Because someone sitting there for an hour or all day, I don't understand them. I personally do not understand how they can do it. I mean, my legs wouldn't stand for it, but remove the leg part, I still don't understand how they can do that all day long. So I like the idea of being able to spend a few moments, a few minutes helping yourself, training yourself, taming your mind, training your mind. Then of course you could spend longer when you have real problems, because you can focus in on your emotions and no, yes.
Oh, that's another story.
It's 10 o'clock. Is it a long story?
Well, cut in short, a person who has trained can spend a long time watching those troubles and chattings. A person who is not trained, that person will not be able to sit still, because mind is all over the world. But a person who has trained, he will be working with that thoughts. But the person who never, or who is not trained, he won't be able to train working with that thinking mind. So that's why they will be moving their legs, they will be moving their hands, opening their eyes, or even stand up and walk away. And that's because the sign of unstable mind. And that's again, in the practice, normally people think of switching off the mind. But a trained meditator, what will do is working with that thinking mind. And when you're working with that thinking mind, then you don't need to pay attention to the bodily actions at all, because you're switched off from the body, 6 senses. You're working with the mind, and that's how you will be able to sit for a longer time. So that we have to see the difference here.
Okay, I see the difference. Yes, because I've experienced these things, so I can see the difference. And I would imagine anyone listening now probably has experienced that difference. But I think I like the idea of the taming first. I like that a lot, because that helps people understand that the mind has to be controlled, it has to be tamed before you can train it. And when it's trained, then it becomes a tool that you can use. So when you're meditating and have problems, you can then bury yourself, as it were, in this tool, and use the tool to change whatever the problems are. And that may take quite some time. And because it takes quite some time, well, actually, when you're doing something really interesting, time goes very quickly.
That's definitely.
Very quickly indeed, yes, doesn't it? So maybe then those people don't need to move their body. But look, the Buddha always sat cross-legged on the floor, but not everyone can do that. So, I mean, it's a comfortable position, isn't it?
Now, you have to remember how long the Buddha was. 2,000 years ago.
More than that. A long time anyway.
2,500 years ago.
Yep.
Those days, no seats.
Quite right.
No sofa.
Definitely no sofa.
Yeah, no tables.
No.
Everybody sits on the floor.
Yeah.
And you've
been
training.
Nice cloth on the floor.
Yeah. And you've been training sitting on a sofa from the day one, and now you expect to sit on the floor? No way.
Good. I'm glad you, as a very highly experienced meditator, can agree.
Like me, I'm sitting on a chair and it's still cross-legged.
Yes, and like me, I'm sitting on the chair and no way will I try and cross my legs.
It's already an hour and I don't feel any trouble at all. Why? Because I have been sitting like this from childhood.
Yes.
We sit on the floor.
Yes.
So Doesn't matter whether you ask me to sit on a floor or on a chair, cross-legged, no problem.
No problem at all.
But
No.
if I tell you to do it,
I get a problem.
yeah,
Yeah, after
So-
an hour, it's definitely a problem.
yeah,
So people need to know that they actually can sit comfortably and do the same thing.
yeah,
Yeah, good. I need that people to know that, because
yeah,
some
definitely.
people seem to feel guilty that they can't actually sit cross-legged on the floor, therefore can't meditate. But that's not true. You can meditate. Well, I mean, there's walking meditation.
No, I think one more thing what I want to
Go on.
say is that meditation is about the posture, is not about the posture. It's about the mind training.
There you go. That's it.
So we are not training the body. If you want to train the body, go to the gym.
Yeah. Yes. But we're training the mind. We're
Yeah.
taming and training the
Yeah.
mind, and our body actually doesn't count. So if we're sitting comfortably or lying down, we don't go to sleep. I mean, that can happen. But we can be in a comfortable position. We can even, as I was just about to say, be walking
Yes. Yeah.
and doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Just don't fall over.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another very nicely clear thing. Well, because of the time, it's 10:05 now, we've got to give up and pack up. I could speak for another hour on this, and maybe Ajahn will allow us to have next Tuesday before you go back home to delve into the intricacies of meditation itself. Well, you know, I've got you here, so I might as well drain your mind. People will probably be very interested. I know I am. Well, thank you,
Okay.
Ajahn. Yes, thank you. Thank you,
Yes,
Ajahn.
thank
Thank
you.
you. And I can't do. Will you please do a nice finishing?
Okay. So blessings from both of us. Yeah?
Yes, definitely both of us.
อภิวาทนาสีเลสานิจังวัฏาปจายโนจัตตารโอธรรมาวัฏันติอายุวันโนสุขังพะลัง